Welcome back on my Rockstars to another PokeFind training guide. Let's go ahead and dive right into it. So our last training guide was how to get a level Pokemon to level 100. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you go do that already because it's definitely a good video to check out if you're playing on this server. So today we're going to be covering the basis of EVs and IVs, how they work, and how is the best way to train them, not only in PokeFind, but in Pixelmon in general. On top of that, this does work in Pokemon, but Pokemon doesn't have all the same check the stats and tools to make it easier on yourself. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you have the warp unlocked. So you want to go over here to Ryder and make sure you have the warp over to Battle City. Once you're at Battle City, just go ahead and click it and you will see you will spawn facing away from the city. You want to turn around and come this way. Back here are some breeding shops. Now this is useful for, yes, Pokemon breeding, which is unlocked in Generation 4, but this is also where you get some key items. If you come into this shop here, you want to get all of these and maybe the Everstone if you want, but that's up to you. These cost tokens. You get tokens from completing quests, voting for the server on /vote, logging in daily roll, so you get a daily roll. You can get tokens from there. You get them over time. You want to collect them and you want to buy each of these items. As you can see, each of these items passes down an EV. It says speed IV. You have an EV of a specific stat: special attack, speed, defense, HP. There's one for each and every one. Now we'll get into how you use those in a second here, but first I want to explain the difference between EVs and IVs because they are very different things. First of all, IVs are individual value points or yields or whatever, individual values. So IVs are a Pokemon based stat. So if I do say IVs on my wall ring here, IVs 1, you can see here that it says 3 out of 31, 20 out of 31, 11 out of 31. Each of those contains to a set of stats that you have. Everyone has the same stats, each and every single Pokemon, but each Pokemon gets different stats. Walrein is a tanky Pokemon, so he wants things like special defense and special attack, so he can also be a big hitter, and you want to look out for those differences. Now the tricky thing with IVs you cannot change. IVs are just naturally what are on the Pokemon. There is no way to change IVs without technically cheating in the mod or the Minecraft servers, so that's not allowed. The only way to get better IVs outside of just catching the same Pokemon over and over again and hoping for a better chance is breeding, but this isn't about a breeding. If you guys want to see a breeding tutorial of PokeFind, make sure to leave a like and a comment down below, and we'll do that when we get to there. So every 4 EVs you gain will be 1 point into that stat. So say I trained against a Meowth for 4 speed EVs, that EV would go into 1 point stat of speed, and then you can get a max of 252 for each stat, and then 4 bonuses for 1 point in another stat. Now each Pokemon has their own IVs, and we're not going to go over the entire list, but some basic ones so you learn. Most normal flying types like Pidgeot, Fearow, or whatever, they come down to being speed. Meowth is speed, and you just need to look up EV yield list to figure it out. Raticate would be 2 speed, and usually if it's the same Pokemon and it's an evolution line, usually it just stacks up, but don't always take that to case because some can be different with 1 special defense and 1 attack, for example, like Beedrill. Now what can you do to actually increase your EVs? Because EV training is extremely slow. You have to kill an average of around 175 Pokemon just to get your max EV stats to 1 Pokemon. But that's where these bracelets come in. When you throw one of these bracelets on, say I throw the special lens, which is the special attack bracelet, on Walrein, he has 0 IVs for training. That will give you 4 bonus ones. So if I took down a Ghastly, which gives me 1 special attack, with that bracelet I would get 5 special attack EV. Now you would think, oh, let's just go target all the Ghastlies to get all the special attack at once. That's not what you want to do. The best thing you can do is, first of all, find whatever EV yield is easier for you to obtain by killing certain Pokemon which are more commonly spawned or a certain area, and put those first. So say you need speed and special attack. Both are pretty common in between anything in spawn here in PokeFind, or Ghastlies, which automatically give special attack, but Ghastlies are slightly rare. So what you want to do is throw on the special attack bracelet, right? And then you want to train speed EVs. The reason what this does is it knocks down 2 speed EVs, well not 2 EV stats at the exact same time. Now one will obviously finish much quicker, having a much higher EV yield, but what that means is that by the time you finish that first one, that second one will be exactly what you've been focusing on the entire time, and you throw the bracelet on it for it properly, and it will speed it up massively. You basically want to be training the same 2 stats that you want to focus at the exact same time, so that way it speeds up your process, because if you're not doing this, you could get 1 done really quickly, but then you have to start out at 1 from the very beginning, which makes it a lot more difficult. Now if you happen to not have commands or anything and you're on PokeFind specifically, you can come over to here in the Scientist Fred. Scientist Fred will specifically check your IVs of your Pokemon. You cannot check your EVs here. If you want to check your EVs for your Pokemon and you don't have /EVs or IVs because you do not have a rank, the best thing you can do is go to Aunt Alma. If you go over to Ryder here, if you've already done most of the storyline, or even if you just explored the map, Aunt Alma is on the way to the Fire City from Leaf City. So from Fortree Village all the way onto, what is it called? It's called Amber City. So you want to go ahead and hope you have that teleport unlocked, but you should already if you've explored. Auntie Alma, here you go. You have a nice little Pokestop here, and what this does, she sells you berries as well as checks your EV stats. So if I do review effort value for 500 coins, I can do, boom, review this guy, and it tells me all the EVs that I've put into my Aggron specifically, so I know what his stats are. And you can check this at any time for the cost of 500 coins. Another big bonus of Auntie Alma, say you misread something, so you were training up the wrong EVs, or say you were training up something and you got a couple EVs in the wrong section, so you need to delete them. No big deal. Auntie Alma also sells you berries. Now they are a little expensive at 4,000 a pop, but what you can do is you can buy one of these berries, and each berry will get rid of 10 points of one stat that you choose. So if I choose the tomato berry, I lose 10 points of speed EV train. Something you have to remember is EVs are completely in your control, so you decide what they are, and that's how you build your Pokemon. Now, not every Pokemon has one specific build. Sometimes a Pokemon can have 2 different builds based off how you want to run it, but that decision comes down up to you. It's all about how you want to do it. If you're gonna rec up recommendations for Pokemon you don't know how to build, or you've never built a Pokemon with EVs and IVs before, I highly recommend just looking up Pokemon Smogon strategy, whatever Pokemon that is, in Smogon, and it will give you the most VCG battle representations that you can find, and it usually is up to date with the most latest things. It won't always apply to the right server or whatnot, but it will give you the best general idea of what you need to be doing for that specific Pokemon. EVs are one of the most important things, is because even though 4 to 1 doesn't sound like a big deal, they are extremely important to gain your stats. An EV trained Pokemon can make all the difference in the world versus a non-EV trained Pokemon. Yes, their stats will be more rounded out on a non-EV trained Pokemon, but overall their base stats, what they need the most, is not going to be the best. If I haven't explained already, first of all guys, EVs are effort value years. They're effort value yields, and what they do is they give stats to your Pokemon, and individual value and effort value are completely different. Individual value, like I said before, is what you come with, while effort value is what you put into the Pokemon, and each of those stats also gain with levels, so obviously level up your Pokemon. The last thing that you need to pay attention for EVs and IVs is actually nothing to do with EVs and IVs at all. It's the nature. So if you have the wrong nature on a Pokemon, it could completely ruin them, no matter how good IVs or EVs you have are. Obviously, looking at my Walrein here, we have a base nature. This nature does almost nothing for us. We have lowered defense and up attack. Walrein is first of all a special defense and a special attacker, so it's not very good that we have up attack and lowered defense, because it makes our defense less, but he was already weak in defense anyway, so it doesn't make much of a difference. But his attack raised. If anything bonus, our physical attacks are just slightly more powerful, but in reality you would want a special attack up or special defense down, because if you had one of either one of those up, because if you had one of those down, as a matter of fact, if one of those is red, your 2 main stats, it can completely ruin your entire thing. To show you guys the difference here, let's look at my Charizard. This Charizard has a special attack of 337 with the 21 base IVs. He has been completely EV trained in speed and special attack, but so has this Charizard, but he only has 313 special attack. But look, he's got 27 special attack IVs. That's 6 more. I wonder why that is. That's 6 more. That specifically doesn't make a difference as much as the nature. If with only a 6 IV difference less, and yet the nature still puts it up a higher special attack, and then this Charizard, which this Charizard is technically the better one versus this one, because this one is not got as good as stats overall with this speed or special attack, but this one has a higher special attack than this one because of that nature. Natures are one of the most important things. And that's everything that I have to cover for you guys today. If you guys think that I missed anything overall, make sure you let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys like to see more of these PokeFind or Pixelmon Guide videos, anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. Make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe, Rockstars, and I'll see you all later. Peace.